In this lesson, we'll continue discussing printing. If you'd like to follow along, go under the File menu to Open, and in the Sample Files folder, scroll down to 1504 Export Acrobat for Print, and just click Open. How do you export in Acrobat? You start by going to File, Export, and for format, make sure to choose Adobe PDF Print, because there's also an Adobe PDF Interactive. We want print. And we're going to save this to our desktop. And you'll notice that it's picking up the name of the file itself with the extension PDF at the end. I'm just going to hit Save. Now, there are various presets at the top, and one of them is Press Quality. If I choose Press Quality, does that mean I'm done and all of the settings are correct for printing on a printing press? And the answer is no. It's actually a good starting place for printing on a printing press. You have to talk to your actual printer because they're the only ones who really know what it is they need in an Acrobat in order to print correctly. Why don't we go through some of the settings? In the General section, you'll see the top part is kind of similar to a print dialog box. What pages do you want to print? All or arrange? Do you want to have these in an Acrobat as individual pages or as spreads? All of the stuff down the bottom is actually interactive or printing things that you would never want in an Acrobat for press. So why don't we go to the next section, which is compression. The purpose of compression is to make the Acrobat file as small as possible without losing any quality. So in the compression section under color images, you'll notice that it's using something called bicubic downsampling to 300 pixels per inch for images above 450. Well, let's say I have a really large Photoshop file that's twice the size at 300 pixels per inch that I'm using it in my actual layout. Well, that means in the layout, it's actually 600 pixels per inch because it's half the size. All of the pixels are pushed closer together to make it half the size. You definitely don't need 600 pixels per inch for printing on a printing press. So what that's going to do is for all images above 450, it's going to make it 300. So you're not losing any quality whatsoever. For color images, grayscale images, same thing. And also monochrome images, which are basically just a black and white scan, let's say, of a logo. So if you have a logo that's supplied in that format and you're using it in your InDesign file, it will compress it for images above 1800, it will make it 1200. Now here's a good reason to actually talk to your printer. It says compress text and line art. There are some output devices that your printer may be using that do not understand compressed text. There's a good reason to call your printer. Now it says crop image data to frames. So in other words, any part of the image that is outside of a frame, it's cropped off, it's not going to include that unnecessary data. Marks and bleeds, next section. Another reason to call your printer in the Acrobat. Does your printer want all printer's marks or maybe just crop marks and maybe possibly page information? So you really have to call your printer. And the basic press quality preset does not include bleed. So you do have to make changes to the press quality preset in order to use it for a printer. Output. Another reason to call your printer. It says color conversion, convert to destination. What destination? Do we know what color destination your printer is using? Nope. It says here, by default, document CMYK US sheet-fed coded version 2. Yours may actually say working CMYK US web-coded swap version 2. So we don't really know what the destination profile is. You have to call your printer. Let's go to the advanced section, and you'll notice that transparency flattener is actually grayed out. That's because the compatibility of this Acrobat using press quality is Acrobat 5. Acrobat 5 uses layers. And because there are layers in the Acrobat file, it doesn't need to do transparency flattening. The Acrobat still has the transparency in it. It's only if you go under Acrobat 5 to 4 that this is not grayed out, and you could choose high resolution. Now, does your printer really need Acrobat 4? I kind of doubt it. Let's go back up to 5. In the security section, I have a word of caution. If you don't need security for your document, don't use it. The reason for that is sometimes people use security and then forget their password. So use security with great caution. Make sure to write down your passwords. Summary is just everything we just entered. If you need to get this information from your printer as to the settings that they require, have them save a summary. This will save a text file that will indicate all of the settings that were used to make the Acrobat. So you'll have their exact settings. Even better, have them save a preset for you, and they can send you the preset, and that will work as well. Also, once you have all of their settings, if you've entered them once, save a preset. The preset, let me just hit cancel, will actually end up in the pop-up menu with the rest of the presets. Let me go back to General here, and I just wanted to show you that I did check View PDF after exporting. So now if I hit Export, you can see here's the progress right up over here in the application bar at the top. As soon as it's done making the Acrobat, it's going to open it so we can take a look. And there it is. And you can see it did include my crop marks and the bleed. Let me just scroll down a little bit here. It also included information about the file as to when it was actually made, and also the name of the file that it came out of. We're going to continue to discuss printing in the next lesson.